Alrighty then. Oh, it looks like my camera got dislocated. That's not funny. I mean, it is a little funny. Yeah. So. Extra special egg opening today. We gotta spark it. I already know what this one is. Anubis. Probably with Glutton. Oh, Diet Lover. Okay. Better. And a Penking. The Anubis was actually the one I was after, though. And just as a heads up, I have 4 more in reserve. So, tomorrow, 3 of them. 3 more of them, rather, will be born into this game. The Diet Lover one is going in my base. What am I doing? You'll have to forgive the tired brain this morning. I've been living off of very little sleep lately. Yeah, he went right for the metal, actually. Okay. Well. The Diet Lover is definitely a welcome thing. Well. Yeah. Okay, I did see, or rather have, a breeding guide up. Looks like I stupidly closed the tab. Great. There we go. Okay. Scroll all the way to the top. New breeding combos. Best breeding combos? Oh, okay. Dig Toys is another option too, and all you need is a sweeper to do it. No. Let's see. I have the stuff to make a Wombo Baton too. I actually had the stuff to make a Wixen, and as I remember, Wixen is one of the better work suitability. Oh, not quite. Oh, I can make a Blaze Howl. Okay, Sibylix actually is, if you put it in the ranch, she drops, it drops, sorry, high quality cloth. My speech centers are kind of taking a hit today, so I'm sorry for that in advance. Astagon has mining level 4 and works at night. I can make one, and I think I'm going to. The Kitson. Bring a water type or just bring a big enough pair of balls. Still glitching, huh? Apparently he runs so fast it's causing him to vibrate. Yeah. Let's see. We can calculate. I need to calculate the breeding to get a better... Actually, I think the basis food supply can handle it. A glutton. That being said, I know I farm this thing a lot, but the chillet is probably going to continue to be the subject of not really my wrath so much as just my farming. Okay, that's why that's taking so long. He's getting too sidetracked. Wrong thing. I know. Holy, this game is actually turned into a little bit of a chore. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Okay, so I did set those up, and that one, good. Um. Oh, I can barely form a thought right now. I don't think I'll be able to do the Path of Exile stuff today. I'm not sure. I hate to use a Naruto reference, but I kind of feel like that time that Kakashi overdid it. Like the weird sound effect is even playing in my head. Five hours of sleep is definitely not enough sleep. Actually, I didn't even have five. I'm only saying five because my brain can't math right. You're okay, buddy. Just making noise. Okay. Well, staying in the base is boring. Let's go find something to do. Well, before I do, I'm going to assign... I have to assign a water type to the Kajigger. That's what I was in the process of doing, actually. You know what? It'll have to do. I mean, it is just Chillet we're going after, so... You know. It would behoove you to get in the sphere, dude. That is not my Tansy. take the money anyway. I don't think there should be any. Yeah, there is. But not much. Alright. Oh, sweet. Let's go make the handgun, because I'm kind of tired of using the musket. I get it, the musket's got more firepower, but... it's just harder to use. A musket will always be harder to use than a handgun, because a musket, you only get one shot and it takes forever to reload. A handgun in this game, this particular handgun, I believe gets anywhere from 6 to 8 shots and reloads relatively quickly. And the same is true in real life too. Whoa! My Bushi just destroyed them. Oh, you're not getting away. Oh. I think we're going to speed that process up just a touch. Okay, and what is it going to take? We'll make 30 more of these. Oh, thanks for the help, Pen King. I've slaughtered so many of those things in their dungeon base, it's not even funny. I'm just glad he's helping. The only thing I wish that they do in Path of Exile 2 is make it so I could imbue my character with just, like, fists. Instead of having to use, like, staves and crossbows and grenades and stuff. And swords and whatnot. They haven't added the swords in yet. But I want, like, brass knuckles that I can add, like, elemental stuff to. So that way I can go punching things. You just punch something with fire! I think that'd be pretty fun. It's probably a stupid idea, but if I get to the point where I get any sort of influence, I might suggest it for... I'm going to be doing another Path of Exile stream at some point, so... just as a heads up. Actually... Path of Exile is the reason this episode is being pre-recorded the day before it's going to drop, because I'm exhausted. I was not too smart. I decided that instead of putting an actual time limit on myself, despite saying, you know, midnight, I got so close to the end of Act 1 I could taste it. And I went for the final push, and I was up until, like, 1:30. And then I had to be up for, like, 5 o'clock. But I was actually up at, like, 4, so... The usual. I'm just quite tired, really. I mean, this has, like, no bearing on my channel, and well, it does in the fact that this is pre-recorded, but that's about it. But then again, this is just a video upload. I could actually, legitimately, because I have 4 or 5 of these Punisher shirts that I wear every day. It's just, I think it's just kind of ironic, because I wear all black anyway, and it makes people leave me alone in person. I'm actually typically a very nice individual, but I have my limits, and when my limits get pushed, I tend to say things. Things that people don't like. And if I am pushed to that point when I'm tired, I will forget or just generally not care about the person's station in society or anything, and I'll just say what I'm going to say anyway. And yes, it's gotten me into a lot of trouble in the past. I do make an effort to not do that, but when I get, you know, as a normal person, like outside of this, because I do try to be nice to people. But, like, there's just a certain... And everyone has this, by the way. This is not unique to me. It's just... everyone has that certain point where... Oh, stop doing that. Where are you... Everyone just has that limit, you know. There's only so much stupid Asmon can handle, for example. Before he, you know... I've found that, generally speaking, when he's doing his content anyway, when he asks if he's taking crazy pills or mentions crazy pills, I know that there are people out there who try to get a reaction out of him, but I genuinely would not push the issue. Not because I'm afraid or anything, there's nothing to be afraid of, but in general, out of being a nice person, if you're purposefully trolling by being an idiot, it'd probably be a pretty good idea to stop before he reaches for the ban button. That's kind of what the thing that I'm talking about, really. It's just like, it's not that I have an interest in banning people. I don't at all. I would rather not... Oh, that was my used... I'll deal with it later. I'd actually rather not ban anybody if I had my way of it. But sometimes some people just... It's like their life's purpose is to cross lines. And, yeah. Well, it's not so much their life's purpose, it's just that they feel like they can, or they're just trolling, or in some cases, they're actually just that, you know, brain blown. But I feel like in most cases, it's not a case of genuinity of it. I think someone's just trolling. And also, I'm okay with devil's advocate conversations. And here's why. When I'm the one doing them, it's because I'm considering someone else's point of view. Okay? It does not mean that I'm going to agree with it, or at the end it's going to result in anything. That much is true. But if I'm considering someone else's point of view, and I don't agree with it at all, one of the things that I will say, and you'll hear come out of my mouth, is, well, let's play devil's advocate for a minute. It's not a matter of being genuine or not. It's I'm going to give it the same 50-50 shot that I do anything in my head. Ooh, he's up here. And if it pans out to changing my mind, I'm okay with that. I'm not some hard nose who's never going to change his mind about anything. And that's another thing, too. Situations change all the time. Like, all the time. I could have, like, my opinion one day to the next could be different. And it could have to do with the situation surrounding whatever the topic is at hand. I'm not going to sit here and hold a viewpoint like I'm carrying some sort of life-saving water jug for somebody. You know, when I know that I'm in the wrong. I'm not going to do that. That's just the way that it is. There are some limited exceptions, though. You know. But if I feel like something is wrong with something that I'm doing or saying, I will try to accommodate it to make it right, if that makes sense. I hate talking politics, and this is such a politically hot topic. But abortion is one of those things. Religiously, I am extremely anti-abortion. Like, to the extremes, right? But once you step outside of the religious and you start getting into the medical and legalistic end of things, well, then things start to get a little fuzzy. And that's where you're going to get a reluctant, it needs to be safe, legal, and rare. And to quote Ron Paul, it doesn't need to be legislative, it needs to be unthinkable, which means that it should not be just a socially acceptable thing to do. It should be a thing that is of last resort, is kind of where I'm at on that. And that is influenced largely by my religious beliefs, absolutely. I'm not going to lie about that. Duh. But on the social level, I'm not going to hold everyone else in the society to my religious beliefs. That is not my job. My job under Christ as a Christian is to testify and to speak out against what I think is wrong. Now, there's a difference between forcing my beliefs on someone and speaking out against something I feel is wrong. Speaking out about it is entirely my choice. I have the freedom of speech. I have the ability to say something is religiously wrong. I'm not going to sit there at a hospital. YouTube's probably going to get me in trouble for this one. But I'm not going to sit at a hospital with a gun to a doctor's head saying, no, you're not. That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. And it's a... Why am I trying to catch these guys? It's pointless. I'll sell them. Oh, Musclehead. Actually, I might not. Might assign him to a mounted crossbow. Actually. But yeah, that's enough philosophy, I think. But just in general, I do try to be... I won't accommodate my soul to hell. I'll put it that way. But I will accommodate reasonable conversation. And yes, on my channel, in my chats, in my life, if I have to talk to you, in my mind, I am the one in control of whether I engage with you or not. Which means, if I do not feel like you're worth engaging with, because I think your point is either dumb, or you're just trolling me, or you're being an idiot, and you're, like, getting too lost in the weeds, like I tend to do sometimes, I will tune you out and ignore you. But, and yes, that is very self-centered, yada yada yada. I'm in my 30s. I don't know when my particular dinner bell is going to ring, if you catch my drift. I don't want to waste time on someone who's not even going to hear my point of view, or consider it, or is going to waste my time with just being a troll. I am not chronically ill as far as I'm aware, so that's fine, but my time is valuable to me. This YouTube channel is therefore valuable to me as well, considering how many videos I have on it. And where I'm running my mouth, and I've actually gotten a little bit of my energy back, I might actually record another day's episode of this while we're here. Maybe. What time? Oh, I need to think about that for a minute. No, I think it'll just be this one. I'm going to try to wrap up PoE Act 2 today, which is going to be a streaming event, so if you want to come watch, please do. I would welcome the camaraderie while I'm trying to probably do the impossible here. Oh, look, more Syndicate thugs. Of course, if the game picks up and I can wrap up all 3 acts, then that would be actually a nice thing. It's not that I don't like the game. I actually really enjoy the game. It's just, there's kind of a line between playing a game for fun and doing it for YouTube content. Now, I enjoy Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2, even though Path of Exile 2 feels more like a top-down version of Dark Souls, which kind of got to snivel the snout to that a little bit. It feels less like an action role-playing game and more like a Dark Souls or Souls-like game, which is fine. I actually kind of enjoy it. I don't mind games that break genres. It's just a game can defy every genre in the book. You can have an ARPG Souls-like with a racing mini game that's built in as part of the game. Could be horses, could be cars. You could also have a first-person shooter aspect to it added in for like a gallery shooter if you wanted to, as like a little arcade thing. Throw the ice shards as a mage, or shoot the crossbow to see how many moving targets you can hit to earn whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And those are technically, that's not genre breaking. Those are mini games, but like, I think there's nothing wrong with mini games, as long as the mini games are not, number one, as long as they're not essential towards the main game. They can reward in-game progress, but they should not be a part of your actual physical progression in said title. And number two, they shouldn't, unless you want the game to be like a WarioWare title, they should not be the center focus either. Because you can have a mini game that ends up being better than the main game itself. It does happen. Yeah. And it has happened in the past. I can't think of the titles offhand, but they do exist. Actually, Duke Nukem Forever, I feel like the playing with the pool balls is enough minigame, and the pinball game, yep. If I remember correctly, it was either a mod or it was part of the game. You could play pinball, but it ended up being better than the game itself. Which, I mean, we're talking about Duke Nukem Forever here, so yeah. Okay. Oh, he's probably gone by now. Fly, my minions. Fly! My dog's looking at me like I'm crazy, by the way. No, 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 no. Do not attack the fat man, please. I actually want that Lunaris. I'll buy the bunny too. Why not? Okay. I think that's going to be a wrap, actually, for this episode. If you like the content, hit the like and subscribe button, and I think I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.